All right, it's me again. I'm back with another one. Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 6. Axe and Grind. Kim and Jimmy enlist a knowledgeable contact. Howard scrutinized Jimmy's business practices. Ooh. And this episode, the story progressed. We see what Lalo was up to. Looks like he's over in Germany, hanging out with one of old Gus's employees. And we also learned that Kim and Jimmy, they like to, how a lot of people get their vision board up and they get a board and put their vision of what they want to accomplish and the goals they want to set. Well, Jimmy and Kim, they have couple dreams. They have a couple board. They have a board. They have their own vision board as a couple. And they like to put their schemes that they like to plot on the board. We saw that toward the end of the episode. That out of the whole episode, the two key scenes, there are three key scenes, but the first two scenes I want to talk about is the very first scene in the intro of the show, where, and they have to, my first two scenes, they have to do with Kim. The very first scene where we got to see Kim as a little girl, she got caught shoplifting. And as soon as I saw that mom come in there, I knew she was full of crap. I knew she was just running a scheme. And I knew the mom had put her up to it and was in on it. Because we had a episode of Kim's mom. If it wasn't last season, it was the season before last, where her mom was kind of shady. And if you remember that scene, you definitely knew that the mom put her up to stealing. And we got to see her mom come in there and just work the hell out of that store manager. I mean, she worked that store manager like a real simp, a real pushover. I mean, she worked him like a real square. And she really worked that store manager. The store manager didn't even want to. When she got through with that store manager, he didn't want to press charges, and she didn't want her to compensate what she broke and stole, what Kim broke and stole, or nothing. I mean, it was like a artist at work, a con artist at work, working at their art, watching how she worked that man real good. And of course, when her mom get to the car, she laughing or whatever, and you can tell Kim as a child, she doesn't feel right. Like she feels a little unsettled at doing this kind of stuff because Kim knows it's wrong. But we got to see Kim's. It just was a scene. That scene served its purpose. It showed us Kim's upbringing as a child. And I think it's important because it's setting us up for us to see a decision that Kim is going to make as an adult, as a lawyer and as an adult. So we talk about that scene as a child, and which I'm going to fast forward to the last scene of the episode where Kim, they're ready to go through with this scam. Her and Jimmy, and Kim is on the road on the outskirts of Albuquerque. She is on the way to Santa Fe. If I'm not mistaken, what she's going to do in Santa Fe, this is something on her dream, of helping people, and this is working toward her dream of helping people and working on the good side of Kim or what she claims she wants to do. But at that moment, when Jimmy called her to call off the plan, that guy got a broken arm. He saw the guy at the liquor store. Right when you think that their plan's finna go the way they want it and everything, that guy shows up at the liquor store with a broken arm, and everything starts to go down here. And Jimmy says, "Call it off." Right at that moment, Kim says, "No, it happens today." and she makes a U-turn and starts heading back to Albuquerque. At that moment, I think that's where the con artist scamming part of Kim came out and overpowered the good side of Kim, the humanitarian side of Kim that wants to help people. That bad side of Kim, the scammer, came that was instilled in her as a child. That's why that child scene was so important. That bad side of Kim that was instilled in her as a child took over the good side of Kim, and Kim decided to go down that dark path, and she made that U-turn and headed back to Albuquerque. And we're going to see what happens in the next episode, in episode 7. At least I'm going to see what happens. In the next episode, episode 7, we're going to see what are going to be the consequences and repercussions of that decision that Kim made when she made that U-turn in that road. We're going to see. The third scene that really caught my eye was the Alameda Street scene. We saw Gus meet up with, not Gus, but Mike, my man Mike, cool and mellow Mike. We saw him meet up with the black guy that worked for Gus. I can't think of that black guy's name. The black guy that be looking, that doesn't have any expressions. And he talking about what boss say. Boss say this, said that you shouldn't have pulled them men off your house, Mike. And Mike had a little Wild Wild West moment, like a Clint Eastwood moment, like make my day. If your boss got a problem with it, which he talking about Gus, tell your boss to contact me. And if you got a problem with it, well, I'm right here, partner. Sound like I'm right here, Conrad. He might as well say that like John Wayne or like Clint Eastwood. I thought it was the good and the bad and the ugly up in there with Mike and that black guy, in that scene. But after that scene, we go to Alameda Street and we get to see what's at Alameda Street that Mike does not want to pull the surveillance on. Well, of course, it's his granddaughter and his daughter-in-law, his precious granddaughter. And Mike has a tender moment with his granddaughter where they talk. They have a little we got to have astronomy time with Mike on Better Call Saul. We got to have the astronomy moment of the day with Mike. He taught us some astronomy about Jupiter, but seriously, he had that touching moment with his granddaughter. And I think that scene is very important because it shows the decisions that people make. And it shows that people make these decisions for whatever reason, but they forget about what's really important. And I think Mike realized that, but it's too late. He's in, he can't get out. He working for Gus, and he know the only way out of that is death. Well, he's starting to learn that the only way out of that is death. But he's going to know that by the time at the end of Breaking Bad, because we know what happened to Mike at the end of Breaking Bad. But at that moment, I'm telling you, Mike realizes, see, the most important thing is family. And spending time with your family, your granddaughter and your grandchildren. You only got a small amount of time on this planet, and spending time with your family and your grandchildren, in Mike's case, that is what's most important. And I think that scene is just a good example of Mike is out here caught up in this criminal world, this world of criminality and fooling with these drug dealers and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, you can see it in his face. He longs to just hang out with his granddaughter and not have to hide and talk to her on the phone, and so that he can protect her. I just think that was an important scene. That scene with Mike. But with that said, moving on to predictions. What's to come next? Well, we saw how this episode ended, right? We saw how it ended. And it ain't looking good for the scamming couple of the year, Mike and Kim. Not Mike, but Jimmy and Kim. It ain't looking good for Saul and Kim. It ain't looking good for them. And we're going to see the consequences of their U-turn in that highway that Kim made. We're gonna see the consequences of that. We're gonna see what happens at the next episode, which is the season finale. The mid-season finale, episode 7. We're gonna see. I can't wait. If you've been watching this long, you a real one. I appreciate you. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And until next time, my friends. But stop recording.